Quantifiers. Talking about quantifiers, these are words that usually go before a noun to express the quantity of the object. So as the name suggests, these are quantifiers which quantifies the noun or any other word for that matter, but usually it goes before a noun, right? So it expresses or it tells you about the quantity of the object. For example, a little milk, okay, thoda sa doodh. So here the quantifier is a little, right? So most quantifiers are followed by a noun. As we said that usually it is followed by a noun, though it is also possible to use them without a noun when you're clear that what you are referring to. So when you have a particular idea about what you're referring to, it's okay even if you don't use a noun. For example, do you want some milk? Just a little, right? So as you can see in this question, we are already talking about the noun, that is milk. So do you want some milk? So here the milk has already come in the question. So when you're answering it using a quantifier, so you don't normally need a noun. So here the answer goes like just a little. आपको दूध चाहिए? हाँ, थोड़ा सा. अब यहाँ ये बोलने की जरूरत नहीं है कि हाँ थोड़ा सा दूध चाहिए, right? So it's clear that I mean the little what I'm referring to is milk. So it's obvious. So that is how quantifiers work. So these are described under 3 different categories. Okay, so to classify them, the first one is in large quantities, which is like a lot, much, many. So when we are talking about something which is in a huge quantity, in a large quantity, we use such quantifiers like a lot, much, many, etc. Second one is in small quantities. So when we want to convey something which is in a small quantity, we use quantifiers like a little, a bit, a few. The third one is undefined quantities. So here you don't exactly know whether the quantity is large or small. So that is why here for such quantities we use some or any. So we also have quantifiers that expresses the idea of a sufficient amount. So when we're talking about a particular sufficient amount, we use some quantifiers like enough and plenty. So let's start with understanding all of these 3 categories in detail. The first one was large quantities, okay? Many, much, a lot, right? So when we are using many, much, a lot, here we are referring to big quantities as discussed earlier. Specifically talking about many, this is used for countable nouns. Much is used for uncountable nouns and a lot is used for both of them, be it countable or uncountable nouns, right? So let's see a few examples. There are many things to do today, okay? There are many things. So here we can have a count, like how many things we need to do. So we can actually count them. That is why we are using many as a quantifier here. The second one is drinking too much alcohol will harm your health. So here we are not actually measuring that how much alcohol will harm your health. We are just saying that it is too much alcohol. So it's uncountable. We have a lot of time left, don't worry. So here we are using a lot, which conveys time as a noun, which can be counted and uncounted as well. So we have a lot of time, don't worry. So we are just saying it in general and using this quantifier. Now let's understand some similarities among the many and much quantifiers. So some of the similarities are that it is used to show an amount of something. As discussed, quantifiers are for the purpose of showing you the quantity of something or the amount of something. Second, it is used with a noun or without a noun. So it is used both ways. Third, it is used in all positive, negative sentences and questions. So be it a positive question, be it a negative question, you can use much and many, both of them, right? But there are certain differences and that is how we need to differentiate and use it under particular sentences. So here much is used with singular uncountable noun, okay? So much is used with singular uncountable noun, whereas many is used with plural countable nouns. Now let's move on to the second category, which is in small quantities. So when we want to talk about small quantities, we use quantifiers like a few, a little, or few, little. Okay, so there is a difference between a few and few, which we will be discussing later. So few means few is used to say a countable noun. Example, a few students. Little basically means uncountable noun which you cannot count, like a little water, little salt, little sugar, like that, right? Let's see some examples. We need a few coins for the car park. Few coins for the car park. So here you can actually count the coins, right? So few coins. Would you like a little milk in your coffee? A little milk in your coffee, which is not countable. So he has a few friends, right? Few friends which can be counted, like 2 or 3 friends. I have a little money and I can buy a small toy for this amount. So I have a little money. So as I was saying that there is a difference when you use a few and few, a little and little, right? So when we want to refer to a small quantity but with a negative sense, when we have a negative thought in mind and we want to convey that, we use quantifiers without an right? So there are very few people attending the meeting, right? So let's see a difference here. So let's see a few sentences which can explain this thought better. There are very few people attending the meeting, which means that, the number of people is quite less for this meeting. But here, if you put an saying that there are a few people attending the meeting. So here we are not actually talking about the negative sense, saying that, बहुत कम लोग हैं meeting में. We are instead saying that meeting में इतने लोग हैं, right? So there are a few people in the meeting, which goes with a positive sense. The second example is the kids pay very little attention to the lessons, which means बच्चे बहुत कम ध्यान देते हैं. So that goes in a negative sense. Similarly, he has a few friends. So this is a similar example which we used having an in between sentence. So he has a few friends versus he has few friends. So when we are talking about, here we have a negative thought saying that यार इसके बहुत कम दोस्त हैं. So maybe he's a lonely person, or maybe he does not get along with a lot of people. So he has few friends. But when we talk about he has a few friends, हम कहते हैं यार इसके थोड़े दोस्त हैं. The last example is I have little money. It isn't enough to buy anything. Okay, मेरे पास बहुत कम पैसे हैं and इतने में कुछ नहीं आएगा. Similarly, in the previous example, we said, I have a little money, I can buy a small toy for this amount. मेरे पास कुछ पैसे हैं and मैं इसमें ये toy खरीद सकता हूँ. So here we can understand the difference, that if we use the article what difference it is making in the sentence with the quantifiers. So I hope this is clear. Now let's move on to the third and the last part, which says an undefined quantity. So when we are referring to something, we cannot actually have in mind that whether it is a large quantity or a small quantity. We use quantifiers like some and any. So when we want to refer to a plural noun or an uncountable noun or an undefined quantity without giving a specific quantity, we use these quantifiers like some and any. So some here is used for affirmatives and some questions when you are offering something or requesting something. Similarly, on the other hand, any is used for questions in a negative sentence. Let's see how this works. Example sentences: please give me some apples. Okay, so this is a request which goes in a positive tone, saying that please give me some apples. We have some free time later this afternoon. I don't have any free paper to share. So here this is a negative sentence saying that मेरे पास कोई भी extra paper नहीं है share करने के लिए. So I don't have any free paper. Would you like some coffee? As said that we also use some while offering something in a positive tone, saying would you like some coffee? On the other hand, is there any milk in the fridge? Which goes in a negative sense. She does not want any coffee. She doesn't want any coffee. Again, in a negative side. So this is how we use these quantifiers. And with this, we come to the end of this video. I hope you understood what quantifiers are and how are these segregated into different areas depending on the quantities which they have. I hope this will help you in framing your sentences and conversations in a much better manner with correct English grammar. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, do consider to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. We will come up with more